Barczak is a senior policy officer for waste and circular economy at the European Environmental Bureau. He joins me now live from Brussels. Good to have you on the program with us. It just seems remarkable that this food waste is such a huge problem in the EU when other parts of the world people are starving. Why is that?
Well, it is not only in the EU. People are starving everywhere and food wastage occurs everywhere. But indeed, we made this data together with Feedback Global available now to the public to show the urgency of the problem and also to call for the European Commission, the executive of the European Union, to bring back an effective and binding regulation to cut food wastage at each stage of the production chain, including during the production, primary production.
So what can governments do then to tackle this problem?
Yes, of course, the target is binding target is the first legal thing that governments could do. European Commission with 27 member states can oblige governments to attain this target. And in order to attain these targets, governments should put in place measures to cut food wastage at different stages, production at restaurants, at retail. For example, the problem of not correct marketing strategies, wrong marketing strategies, where you can buy much more than you really need, or food labeling. You know, the best before date is also very often very confusing to consumers, and it could be regulated in order to extend the life of usable and still eatable food, and that would cut already significantly some part of food waste.
Is a lot of this habits that can be changed at the consumer level, where people are just used to having abundance and don't think much about throwing away excess food? You know, how can those habits be changed?
Yes, the habits are the problem, true. But I wanted to say that the report shows that much more food is lost already in the production stage. We simply have overproduction of food. There is too much on the market. Over half, much more than half of food wastage occurs in the primary and production stage, and then retail. It's not really only the consumer's problem. That I want to emphasize. But of course, education and simply raising the problem and awareness raising can also help this to address the 32 million out of 150 million of food waste.
So how much of a difference would this mean for not just food security, but also the climate crisis to fix this problem of this food waste?
Of course, food waste, if it would be a country, it would be a third biggest emitter of greenhouse gases emissions. So important when we cut the emissions, in order to cut emissions, we also have to cut food waste. In fact, the data we showed, so 143 million tons of food wastage in Europe accounts to 6% of the European emissions of greenhouse gases. So indeed, this is very important. Also, cutting food waste would save, as we accounted, more than 4 million hectares of arable land, agricultural land, which also contributes to saving biodiversity and therefore saving from GHG emissions from emitting into the atmosphere.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Piotr Barczak joining us from Brussels. Thank you.